Alright guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. We have some pretty bad things to go over here in this video. But if you have conviction in your trade, it really doesn't matter. And I'm done trying to sugarcoat things for you guys. We're all adults here. We know the trade. So none of this day-to-day stuff is even going to influence the trade overall. But I still want to be here to report the good and bad for you guys. And a matter of fact, that's just how I look at the trade. And if you don't feel that way, then you shouldn't be in the stock anyways. So I'm just going to go ahead and buy another 10 shares of AMC over on Webull for you guys, or not Webull, but Public. If you guys want access to Public, a brokerage that does not use payment for order flow whatsoever, you want to get some free stock, help out the AMC movement, so on and so forth, check out the link down below in the description. Now, I don't want to waste any more time with this intro. We have a lot to cover here in this video, so let's get straight into it, guys. AMC is down about 11% today. This is a given. A lot of other stocks are getting beaten down as well. Take a look at my Robinhood portfolio. PayPal, a relatively safe growth stock, down 2.3%. Matterport down 4%. SoFi down about 4%. Teladoc down 1%. DraftKings down almost 4% or 5%. You guys can see AMD down over 1%. So AMC is definitely taking a bigger hit than some of these other stocks, but it's due to the inflation report. And obviously there's some division going on in the community right now, and really do what you guys want to do. That's what it comes down to. There will always be this trade on the table until it actually does happen. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I don't think it's a lot of people selling out, but you could have those paper handers selling out. But what I've learned in my years of investing in the stock market is patience pays. If you can have more patience than the next guy, eventually your trades, your investments turn out to be much better than the guy that was impatient. So let's talk about what the big reason is that is causing AMC to really drop today, besides a couple of other things. It's going to be the inflation report. Inflation came in at 6.8% year over year. This is the fastest rate since 1982. And if you guys are unfamiliar of exactly how this works, essentially if you have high inflation, which we're going to go over this and actually prove this to you guys, but if you have high inflation, that for one part makes companies' earnings less valuable down the line. Say if AMC said, for a random number, they were going to do $5 billion 2 years from now, but if inflation's 10% a year, that $5 billion is going to be worth a hell of a lot less 2 years from now. On top of that, the way the Fed controls inflation is raising interest rates. If you're a company that is a growth company like Lucid Motors, you have to raise capital. It makes it more expensive to go out on the marketplace and to raise capital. So those are the two ways inflation really hurts high growth stocks. If you're not a growth stock, you don't raise money all the time, you have relatively consistent income, right? Your Dow Jones stocks, you do a lot better in times of high inflation. So this is a very high reading. Now, exactly why the market is freaking out is because take a look at 1982. Interest rates were at about 15%. 1981, 1980, they were about 20%. This is the federal funds effective rate. So this is the rate basically the Fed is issuing out for other banks to borrow and lend against each other. So this has a direct impact to your mortgage rates. Like if this rate is 20%, your mortgage rate is probably at least 23 to 25%. That's absolutely insane. So people are trying to predict, or at least implying, that the Fed is going to raise interest rates, and they might have to raise them very high if inflation continues on this trajectory. And you guys can see this is just literally straight up. Last year, May 2020, we had 0.1% year over year inflation. That was obviously, pandemic and all that, but this is not a good thing whatsoever. So that's a situation with inflation. That's how it really affects your investments. That's why the market is freaking out today, throwing a little Powell temper tantrum, because we do have Powell coming December 14th and December 15th. So next week, exactly, that is Tuesday. Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So that is the current situation. That's what you guys need to know from inflation. I don't think it's going to be like the 80s, but you really never know. We've printed a lot of money into the system. Now let's go over the Ortex data, Stockholm Chapter data, and then let's get into some technical analysis because that is going to be very important. So for the short interest of free float, you're looking at 18.84%. The shares that are currently sold short at 96.66 million. We did get the exchange reported short interest data that was released yesterday for November 30th. And November 30th, we were still about $10-12 higher than we did bottom out at, but that came in at 16.26%. I do think the shorts are using the option chain to report back to the brokers that they have actually covered on their short positions, when in all reality they have not. But the most bullish thing here is that the days to cover was 3.12 days to cover. That's an insanely high days to cover. With a short interest that is even 16%, that is prone for a short squeeze right there. But we do have the share utilization at 77.57% and days to cover the estimate at 2.31 right now. Still, anything over 2 is really high. Anything over 1 is good, but 3 is pushing just extreme elevated levels. Now, let's move on to that and go to the Stockholm Chapter data. And like we've talked about many times, we've seen a lot of puts run into the money for December 17th and for today. So you are seeing a lot of market makers actually having to go out and hedge for these puts, and that consists of shorting shares into the overall markets. But same thing for next Friday, December 17th. We do have a lot of puts that are in the money, 106,000. Only 16,377 calls that are in the money. So if we do see a bounce, which I do think we will next week, you'll see the puts run out of the money with a low days to expiration, and you will see the calls run into the money to, like I said, de-hedge these puts that are in the money. You have to go out on the open market and buy shares. Same thing with the calls that go from out of the money into the money. You have to go buy shares as well. So this is what I've been saying for a while now. You're going to see a lot of volatility back and forth just on any given day. It could be random days of volatility, but you are going to see volatility for the next couple of months. So just be prepared for that. I think you guys are, because we've been talking about it for a very long time and it's finally actually happening. But what it comes down to is the trade is still alive. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if I'm the only one on YouTube that is talking about this. It really doesn't matter until the shorts cover. And I know we all get that by now. I just want to make that very, very clear. So let's go to the technical analysis. And AMC is still down almost 11%, but take a look at this. We're seeing some strong support at this support level that I do have drawn out right here at about $26.54 per share. We are at $26.28 per share, but the sell-off has really been slowing down at this support level. So we're not just gapping down under this, we're actually holding right under this. Now, I do think by the end of the day, we'll probably close above 26.50. I don't see a continued sell-off into the rest of the day because we're already at an 11% drop for the day. But anything is possible, and I would definitely keep that in mind. Now, we only have 30 million shares that have traded hands so far. We're only about 2.5 hours into trading today. So this is definitely on the higher end in general. So I do think you are seeing a lot of activity from people selling, people buying, people shorting. That's just a given. But that's really what you guys need to know as far as potential downside. I don't really see any more potential downside. The Fed meeting could, stir things up and could cause a little bit more fear. But your worst case scenario, like I said, is about $20 per share. But that's going to be a massive move to the downside. So I don't expect that, but still, it is definitely possible. Now, if we do see a bounce, then I'm obviously watching 26.50 for a continued support level, and then the 28.30 level for more support, and then ultimately resistance is going to be at this 200-day moving average. This is very clear. This is why we follow support, resistance, moving averages, and volume, and that is it here on this channel for technical analysis on AMC. Because take a look at this. this was a support level for a minute, and then we gapped down under this and hit this 1, 2, 3, and then basically 4, 5 times, and we still have not got a big breakout and actually closed above this. So that is why this is so incredibly important, because the proof is right here, guys. It's very easy to see. So watch that for a resistance level at about $31.83 per share. All in all, not the greatest news to be reporting to you guys, but does it really matter in the grand scope of the trade? No, it does not. This is only a day in history for the AMC MOASS, and that's exactly how I feel, and that's exactly, in my opinion, what I think is going to happen. I'm obviously not a financial advisor. I am not a financial planner, so always come to your own conclusions, do your own due diligence, do your own research, all of that good stuff. I am not the person that's going to tell you guys to sell, buy, or hold AMC stock. I just do what I do, and that's all I know. So that's all for this video. Hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this drop today? What do you think about the division in the community? Let me know your guys' opinion on that, as well as if you guys want me to make a personal video about my thoughts around that whole situation. So check out the links down below in the description. If you guys want to join public, you'll get up to $1,000 in free stock. Definitely check that out. I just showed you guys my actual trade on them. I've been using them a lot lately to buy shares, not just in AMC, but with other stocks as well. There's also plenty of other links down there if you guys want to get free stock, free money. That goes without saying. Definitely check that out. Also, check out the link for the buy and sell alerts in the pinned comment, as well as the link for my Twitter account. So that's all for this video. I'm not going to ramble on anymore. Love and appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching and making all of this possible. I will see you guys in the next video.